I keep fucking with you.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Gio.
And it's your girl, Day.
And we're back with a Hot Topics video.
Yes, a lot of hot topics.
A lot of things have been going on in the media and in the celebrity world, and we're here to discuss them with you.
Yes. So, first we have Miss Tina Knowles.
What's going on with Tina Knowles?
She's been in the media, she had to do a little clapback because they were telling her that she was wrong for calling Bianca her bonus daughter when she put her post up on Instagram, saying she was proud of her because she's on Queen Sugar.
So if you don't know, Bianca is Bianca Lawson. She's the actress. Back in the day, she was in Save the Last Dance. She played the main character, his jealous ex-girlfriend. Yeah, she played her back in the day, and she been on American Horror Story, but now she on Queen Sugar playing Darling.
Yes, that's my show, y'all. Check it out if y'all haven't. So she called her bonus daughter, and people are upset, stating that she calls Kelly her daughter and she calls Kelly's son her grandson. So why would she call Bianca her bonus daughter? So she clapped back.
I kind of feel like Bianca is an adult. Kind of like Tina said, in her clapback, Bianca is an adult. And then also, she known Kelly for many years.
So she was a kid.
Yeah.
So she feel that is her daughter and that is her grandson.
Whereas Bianca, she only known for a few years.
Yeah, she stated that she doesn't like the term stepmother, so that is her bonus child because that was something that was unexpected, but it's still a blessing.
And it's a bonus with the marriage.
Yes. So I guess I can agree how she does state that because she just met her, a few years ago and she is grown. But let's talk about some other people that can relate to being a step parent.
Like Leanne Rhymes, like how she is with her stepkids. With her, she oversteps, which is why Brandy Glanville has a problem with the way Leanne Rhymes is with her kids, because Leanne likes to overstep like those are really her sons.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have Ariel from Next. His wife always calls his son Charles Steppy. And she did that before they were engaged and before they got married. But she's been knowing him since he was a kid, and she calls him Steppy.
I feel like it's what the kid is comfortable with and what the step parent is comfortable with, because everybody is not going to have that tight bond with their step parent. And I feel like when you're younger, when you're a kid, it's easier to create that bond with a step parent than it is when you're an adult trying to, or even a teenager trying to establish a relationship with a step parent. Yeah, it's a little different. And even if they are in your life since you're a child, you never know what the parent is, the biological parent, mother or father, is telling them.
Well, you have Toni. She doesn't consider her stepkids to be stepkids. She calls them
her kids.
You even have Monica, her son's older brother. She doesn't call him her stepson, even though she never married Rocco. But he considers Layla to be his sister, and she still calls him her son. She doesn't make a difference between him and her kids. And then
Tiny, that's even more strong because most of those kids he had on her.
Well, if you look at the timeline,
because they've been together about 20 years, and his oldest is 18.
Well, yeah.
So,
and, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, so he had a lot of those kids on her, and she kind of been there their whole life, right. So it's different.
So she feels those her kids.
Mm-hmm.
In my family, we don't do step. Yeah. It's everybody. That's your mom. That's your cousin. That's your auntie. Even in my family, people didn't realize that my brother was not my mother's son until his wedding. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's like, how are these your friends? And they're blowing out the world that my mom is not his mom, because we don't do the whole step
it's kind of
thing.
Like, step and half and stuff like that. Family is family.
Yes.
Why put a step or a half on it,
Right.
So, but I feel like that's one thing that's handled based off of how the person feels, and the comfortability level of the spouse or, whoever comes into their life.
So saying bonus, is that really different from saying step?
No. Bonus is, you know, to me is actually more special, you know.
Then step.
Yeah, to me is actually more special than saying step, you know.
Well, you can't just say my daughter.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, you guys have a nice little relationship. At some point, do you ever say your daughter, or is it always going to be Bonus?
But Bianca is an adult. Bianca is an adult in her mid-30s, and she has her own mother, and, you know, it might not be something that she's comfortable with.
Okay. I can get that. So, our next topic is Little Richard.
Little Richard. I haven't heard Little Richard's name in the
some
media
years.
in a long time. I haven't even thought about Little Richard since I seen the movie on his life years ago. Like, where Leon played
him.
Richard, yeah.
So,
Leon played everybody.
Yes, he does.
Leon played everybody.
He's just that guy.
Yeah.
He can sing for anybody, huh?
Yeah.
So, I guess it's the same way as Chad. You know, Chad was...
Nah, he everybody.
He's everybody. I love him,
Chadwick
though.
Boseman, yeah. Now he's everybody. He's about to be Black Panther. Make sure y'all see that in February.
Yes. So, I didn't realize that was him even in the picture. I was so surprised because he didn't have a wig on, any makeup, or anything.
He's been Jackie Robinson. He's been James Brown.
He's about to be
Frederick Douglass, too, right? In that new movie, Frederick, is that him? There's going to be Frederick Douglass in that?
No, he's going to actually be the lawyer.
Yeah.
Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah, Thurgood Marshall.
We need to know our history, you guys.
Marshall, yeah. That's the name of the movie. He's going to be Thurgood Marshall.
Yes, and it's coming out this month?
Yeah.
This month.
So I'm going to check that out. But Chadwick literally plays everybody.
Everybody.
Thurgood Marshall,
it was something
James
going
Brown.
around saying he was going to be doing the Gucci Man biopic. I was like, okay. I doubt that too, funny. But that was
But he
really
plays
funny.
everybody.
So, Little Richard. He is stating that he is no longer gay.
He's delivered. He don't like men's no more. He like women.
And he has found God, and he believes that, you know, people shouldn't be gay anymore. And
so he gonna change everybody.
Yeah, he believes that everyone should be the way that it is said to be, versus, you know, because of how it is,
so he
the laws of the
in
Bible.
his 80s and all that. But first of all, you got to keep in mind, Little Richard has never
Ever
came
said
out.
he was gay.
He have kids. He's had ex-wives. He's never said he was gay. He always been feminine.
Everyone's always said he was, but I have never heard.
The implication was always that he's bisexual.
Gay. But yeah, because he does have children. But I've never, ever heard him actually say he was gay until now. And I'm very shocked, and I don't know how to feel. I mean, I believe in God, and I believe He can do miracles, and He can deliver you from anything if you let Him. But a lot of people are saying that everybody want to wait till they about to die and meet Jesus.
Yeah, like you literally waiting to the end of your life to say, okay, I'm not gonna be gay no more. Who even knew you were gay? Maybe you should have came out years ago so people would have known.
And it would have had a little more relevancy.
But you know who else got delivered for being gay? Who was the gospel singer? Donnie McClurkin. Yeah, Donnie McClurkin said that he was delivered from being gay. You know, but he was much younger. You know, he came out and said he was trying to get help, and he was delivered.
He had been molested, you know, growing up and things, but Little Richard, I don't really know what to say on this one.
Yeah,
I'm throwing a curveball. You know, I'm always having
maybe
opinion.
Little Richard is sick or something, and he trying to get his life right before he dies.
Most people are saying that he must have been started seeing the light now, and now he's trying to come to Jesus
before he passes on.
Yeah.
Because we're losing a lot of legends, so maybe Little Richard feels some type of way.
And he hasn't been in the media in a while, and last time I heard years ago he was sick, and he's been in a wheelchair for quite some time now. So prayers go out to Little Richard.
Prayers to Little Richard.
And then pray that, you know, you really are delivered, and maybe this can heal somebody that's struggling, you know, with their sexuality.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they don't have to wait until they're 80.
To finally say I'm gay and then come out and be delivered.
Yeah. I mean.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Family matters.
The Family Matters reunion. So, I love Family Matters.
Yes.
Every time Family Matters reruns come on, I can
have
sit
to
and
watch
watch
them.
them. Family Matters gave life to a lot of stars. Like, I remember a lot of guest stars coming on Family Matters and a lot of the funny episodes and things like that.
It showed how, you know, families sometimes have to stay together in
Yeah.
order to make it. You know, it was the grandmother, the parents, the aunt, the cousin.
Yeah.
So
It was like a first show. It wasn't like the Huxtables
No.
where the family was kind of perfect. This was
Working
you got
class.
to see everybody. Like you had the sister Rachel, who was the aunt who, you know, she was divorced or her husband died and she moved her and her son in. And, you know, you had Harriet, who was a working class mother. She wasn't a housewife, you know.
and then he was a cop. So they basically lived in a middle class neighborhood. It wasn't good times when they were like just broke and struggling.
But it wasn't the
in
Cosby's or
projects.
Fresh Prince.
But it was a normal working 9-to-5 family struggling with the day-to-day life, even with living in the middle class neighborhood.
And they touched on some of everything. The show was funny, but they dealt with serious topics like school shootings and drugs and, you know, sexual assault, things like that. They dealt with serious issues, but it was still a funny show.
Yeah, did I do that?
Did I do that? Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel was the star of the show, of course. And what's funny is I've always heard when the show first came out, he wasn't meant to be the star of the show. He wasn't meant to be
Really?
the main character. Yeah, it just kind of
Happened.
progressively happened. Yeah, he was just supposed to be the funny neighbor that popped in from time to time. And when they
I
seen how
think
much
when
people
you have
liked
a
him.
role like that, sometimes you kind of get boxed in because, you know,
I
we
think that
loved
happened,
when
man.
Stefan came, but everyone was so used to Steve, and I think when you're trying to get roles, everyone's looking for Steve and not, you know.
But that's the thing with being a child star. When you're a child star, a lot of times you stuck in that box, like the one-dimensional box of this is all we want to see you do.
Well, speaking of stuck, so Judy's still stuck upstairs, you guys.
Yeah, Judy been sent to her room for years.
Jamie
years.
Foxworth is still stuck upstairs.
Yeah. So Judy, the last episode you ever seen Judy in, I believe she's sent to her room. Like in that last episode you ever seen her in. And then after that you never seen her again.
Never. It wasn't mentioned, never. They didn't even replace her.
They didn't replace her. They just didn't have another daughter. They didn't say she died. I don't know if she
Anything.
secretly died and they didn't want to say they were grieving and didn't want to say she died.
The show just went on.
Yeah. Like she got sent to her room and they never took her off punishment. Like she was never done.
They must have put her in the attic or something.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened to her. Like I don't even know what happened to her room because she had a room that also disappeared.
Maybe little Richie had the room. You know, maybe that became his room. I have no
Richie
idea.
shared a room with Rachel.
Well, maybe he finally got his own room.
Yeah, but
Because that is still a mystery in itself.
I, to this day, never know. Maybe I'll look up some stuff on YouTube on what happened.
It was supposed to be, I guess, it was some issues with her mom and producers. And that's what happened. Then she had a downward spiral, you know, life after that.
Yeah, I know going into her adult years, she did some porn and
Yeah.
naked pictures and things like that. But that wasn't like a long time period. Like she got delivered from that quick, you know. But my thing is, as the show got bigger, she wasn't a part of it. So for her to feel like, you know, why was I not included in the reunion? I felt like it would make sense to include you in the reunion because they technically did not have another daughter other than Laura.
And she kind of been exited out of the show within those first few seasons.
And what's funny is they replaced Harriet, but they never replaced Judy.
Yeah, so how do you have a reunion with only the original Harriet.
Whereas for like the last 3 seasons, it was a different Harriet. It was a light-skinned Harriet.
Yeah, like how they did the Fresh Prince, and it was just like.
Why are the replacements always light-skinned?
You know, I think that was a thing in the 90s.
Yeah, they always replace the darker skinned actress with a light skinned woman.
But melanin is popping now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But she had felt some way about it because everyone's asking where she was, and I guess Waldo, the one that played, the character Waldo, I think he let her know, text her.
They were still friends, so he let her know, like, hey, we doing this reunion. I don't know if they've reached out to you, but this is what we're doing. Because he didn't want her to be caught off guard.
And blindsided. Mm-hmm. But the character that played Maxine, she was like an extra. Well, not an extra, but she just had a reoccurring role. She wasn't a permanent actor.
Shout out to Cherry. Cherry, she actually has a little YouTube talk show called Girlfriends of Champagne. If you want to look that up and check it out, she actually does that. So she is busy
working
and booked and working.
So she didn't feel any way about her feelings wasn't hurt. She felt that she wasn't a regular actress on the show.
The character Maxine didn't have a lot of storylines that were about her, whereas Waldo was on almost every episode.
Right.
When you seen Eddie, you seen Waldo.
She felt it was 20 years ago. She's had many jobs since then, and she just wished them many blessings. So
you would think that's how Judy would feel. Like they never explained what happened to me. I mean,
I guess she felt that she was a main character, and she had a big part, and they're still leaving her out.
I feel like she deserved the episode. Like, at least if y'all were gonna kill her off. I mean, have like an episode where she died, and you see the family go through that.
Yeah, I guess they're still mad at her mom. I guess.
Because they just had her disappear. They didn't even kill her off. And the last episode you seen her in, which people always joked about to this day, the last episode you seen her in, she was sent to her room. And she never came back from being in her room.
Well, 20 years later, she is still upstairs in her room.
Her room that disappeared.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's supposed to be on Wendy.
Yeah,
to talk about it.
Yeah, she's supposed to be going and talking about it.
There's nothing to talk about.
It's not. You were only on 1 season. 1. You weren't on 2. You weren't on none of the seasons going forward. You were on 1 season.
I'm just hoping that she gets some type of
closure,
and her acting career starts popping off.
If she wants her acting career,
yeah. So that she, doesn't have to feel left out anymore.
So I feel like we can go to the next topic.
Yes. My girl, Tina Campbell. Okay.
Oh my God.
AKA
It the Clown.
I don't
AKA Mary, but my name is not Mary.
Mary, okay? Mary has gotten me through some times in my life. I went to see them a few years ago in concert at the Fox Theater. I always watch every season. I had their albums. I love Mary, okay? Erica CD came out, her first CD, and it was slamming, okay? Now Tina had her CD, come out, and I love this song, Destiny. That song was amazing.
The album that Tina came out where she on a little tight dress and everybody had a fit?
It's personal. And no, that was Erica's album.
Okay. When
she had the white dress on, and all the acting girls have hips. I mean, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you can't have a banging body.
And the dress was still homely.
She was covered.
Sexy.
She was covered. But just because it was fitting, it was an issue.
Yeah,
but Tina, I'm not understanding. She stated that she voted for Donald Trump because of his Christian values. Now, we all know that there's some fake Christians out here. Okay? Everybody that say, Lord, Lord, does not mean it. So, sometimes you have to look at the true character of the person versus what they're saying. It's the things about action versus mouth service, okay? Now, I understand this election, we didn't have a chance in hell, basically, with any candidate.
Because I was for Bernie Sanders, and I was upset that
we should have had him.
Was not for Bernie Sanders.
Yes, I really don't have words for this right now because we didn't have anyone to pick from, but I'm just amazed that that's
And that she still is defending her decision to vote for Trump. That's what gets me.
She basically saying no one has the right to tell her who to vote for, and that's the reason that she voted for him. Move on.
And pretty much, even with all that he's doing, I don't condemn him. I just don't agree with it.
She's going to pray for him.
Yeah.
Now, God gives us discernment, you guys, okay? And you can pray all day long, but he gives you discernment as well, so that you don't have to be in certain situations. Yeah. But they're making all types of posts about her. They are just
for her the clown,
dragging Tina through the mud. Now, I love Tina, and I'm starting to watch this season of Mary Mary, their final season as well. But I feel as though it's still all about her husband's infidelity. And
which didn't they cover that seasons ago?
Yes, I kind of feel like if you're healed and you're truly healed, then it's so many other things going on. We don't have to keep going over this.
You know what? With Tina Campbell and all of her drama, I say she not even worth talking about in this video. She a clown. She a disgrace. Next subject.
I still love my Mary girl, but I'm gonna pray for her.
Next subject. She can get on somewhere with Trump.
So he don't even want to talk about her no more. That's how upset he is. So my girl Tamar Braxton.
Tamar, I love me some Tamar.
Her Breakfast Club interview. So she discussed a lot on this interview.
She did. She was really honest and upfront. She talked about a lot of stuff. She talked about her marriage, her beefs or fallouts with other artists, her and Toni making up. She talked about why this is her last album. She was
on the Wendy show a week or so ago as well. But she did say that this is her last album.
She'll just feel complete.
I wish it wasn't. I understand she has jobs and she still is going to be getting her coins, but Toni, talk to her. Tell her don't do it. I understand, get a different manager.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I don't think she understands. Vince don't have to be your manager.
He doesn't have to be your manager. I know you're keeping the money in the household, but he doesn't have to be your manager.
Especially if it's causing problems in the marriage.
Yes.
Just get a new manager.
Because you make sacrifices as women. We make sacrifices for our families. But you don't want to get to where you're stopping doing what you love, your true passion, what you waited your whole life to do. And you don't want to end up having any regrets or, that's going to be the next argument. I put my career on hold for this family. So we don't want that to happen. We love your vocals, honey.
It's not too many women out here now that can sing,
Yes.
We get all these girls who come out now with mediocre voices. I feel like somebody like Tamar is needed.
Yes, somebody that can really sing. So Tamar, I don't know. Bring out a single every now and then. You don't have to do a complete album, but just don't, give us all of this.
Yeah.
And now, just throw it away.
Also, Tamar dropped a really hot album. Be on the lookout for our review. We are going to review her album.
Bluebird of Happiness.
Bluebird of Happiness. It was a dope album, and I definitely don't feel like this sounded like a final album. It was a good album, but don't leave us after dropping a good album.
Yeah, don't do that to us. Don't do that at all. But she talked about, her and Toni had fell out, and now they're back friends, and it's better than ever.
They had a tearful reunion. Even though Toni not a crier, she cried.
Yes, and they're each other's, children, godparents. But she talked about, her, beef with Toya, how she was hurt because she didn't know that they weren't friends.
And you ain't changed, but I keep
Toya is like, shit, I just knew her through Toni. We wasn't never really friends, but she called you when your brother passed and flew to New Orleans and was there for you physically. I remember Toni and Toya when they had the TV show years ago, and Tamar was on that show. You know.
So I'm just confused in how she was saying that was her friend, but you put her in your book. How do you put someone in your book that is not your friend? How are you that mad at somebody that's not your friend? If she's not your friend,
you wrote almost half of your book about her.
How do you have this much to talk about of her if she's not your friend? Yeah. How do you know what the real issue with her and Tamar was if you never really said what the real issue was? So I'm confused. How do you want somebody to put you on the show if you're not their friend?
And that's the thing, you want her to put you on the show. She's had you on Tamar and Vince before. You know, she had you and your ex-husband on the show, you know, before as a guest. So it's not like she never wanted you a part of anything she was doing. She included you. You know, but the real probably did not want you because you didn't have anything to talk about. And then now you drop this book where you use her name to promote it.
And how?
You know.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's not really coming back from that.
And then you mad because she unfollowed you on Twitter. Like she said, if my feelings were hurt, it was my right for my feelings to be hurt. You know, she just lost her job. My feelings are hurt because I lost my job, so I don't want to see anything about that show.
That just crushed me right now. So why would I want to support you?
Why would I want to see that on my timeline?
Right, and I just got fired.
Like she said on Wendy, like I unfollowed like 30 people that posted about The Real.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understood that because if my feelings are hurt,
so.
Y'all, as my friend, y'all should give me that moment for my feelings to be hurt.
Right. Like you think, oh, I got fired today.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going on there. You supposed to be promoting me. Why would I be promoting you and I just got fired from a place?
Exactly.
That makes no sense at all whatsoever.
And then she was mad that Tamar, who she said is not her friend, did not promote her book. But Tamar's company told her she could not promote that book because Tamar's brand is marriage and family, and that book was anti-marriage. So she couldn't promote that.
Yeah, so I'm confused on what she's mad at Tamar for. And it's just negativity all the way around. Like, Tamar, yeah, I'll keep it moving. I would. But Tamar also said that she had different phone numbers, so whoever was trying to reach her, you know, they couldn't reach her. So what's she talking about? The people from The Real? Who was she talking about?
Who knows? I mean, but I feel like, well, I want to talk to people at The Real.
Yeah,
I feel like them, especially Lonnie Love, had something to do with her being fired.
She kept making videos about her, like, you didn't get fired. If you know that you didn't do anything, why you keep making videos about it?
Exactly, if you didn't have a guilty conscience.
Right. So I don't even know what to say about that. But now the next topic is Black China's mother,
Tokyo Toni,
is trying to sue Wendy Williams.
So Tokyo Toni made a video that was on the Shade Room. You can check that out. She was like crying in tears about Wendy bringing up her name, and she tired of Wendy talking about her, and she gonna sue. The last thing Wendy Williams actually said about Tokyo Toni was that she was beautiful for her age. She was a beautiful woman, so she's not slandering you. She's never said nothing degrading about you. She say more bad things about your daughter than she said about
everybody.
You. You know, and you're a public figure,
right.
Whether you want to believe you're a public figure or not, you're a public figure.
Yeah, so we're going to see if this lawsuit actually goes through. But that's it. That's what we have for you guys today.
That's all the topics we have today. So, this is your boy Gio.
This is your girl Dede.
Signing out.